Yes, thank you. And I'm honored to be here today, and thank you for the invitation, because this is so important. As Sonny said, you know, it's a huge gap, and we have to do something about it. And especially, as you said, in the shipping and maritime sector. Could you help me to take the next? Thank you. Okay, so I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an investor, really small, and a leader. And my experience is that I've only been working with men. And that's the background for why I wanted to start SHE. I wanted to do something about it. And we started with the conference, and now we have a lot of tools, and the SHE Index is part of that tool. And the whole idea behind the SHE Index is to motivate businesses to focus on female leaders and inspire to greater diversity and equality. As you saw, we believe that what gets measured gets actually done. And as you heard, according to the latest reports, it will take 202 years before we have equality within the economic area. Is that acceptable? No. And as Sonny said, you know, we have a huge potential. And as Kristian said, we can actually boost the economy with 35% if we tap into the talent pool with both gender. So it's good for culture, it's good for business, and it's good for profit. So, in SHE community, we have built a strong network, and we have strong partners, leaders, entrepreneurs, and investors. And I believe that this is one of the key factors for our success of launching the SHE Index in Norway. And by using technology from Microsoft and the partnership with EY, the global partnership with EY, I believe we can scale globally. And with partners like you, Nor-Shipping, and World Economic Forum, I believe we can scale fast and be the leading tool to help companies compare, learn, progress, and take action. Okay. And last year at WISTA, I met Sanjam, and Birgit introduced me to you. And this was the first step to take the SHE Index to India in the maritime sector. This is such a good example how purpose-driven people, together with partners and network, can make a difference and create huge change. In Norway, we onboarded the biggest companies on Oslo Stock Exchange, and we already can see that the management of these big companies use SHE Index as a tool. We now see that this has become part of their strategy with set goals and action plans. And that is extremely important, to set goals and action to drive and make a change. I also want to say, we have launched the SHE Index. I don't know if you've seen it, but on some of the places here at Nor-Shipping, we encourage you to join the SHE Index, because we want to make index in industrial indexes, like maritime sector. And as Sanjam is the local driven person in India, we need change makers to go global. And so I encourage you to go back to your country and take the action and take responsibility. Kristian is head of EY Norway, and she walks the talk. She encourages all companies in the world dare to set a goal, dare to be bold. And today I will encourage you to dare to set a goal, dare to be bold. And go there, set goals in the companies and engage them to be part of the Shelndex and onboard your sector. And I'm now honored to introduce you for Chris Lunde, which is the head of PR and communication at EY. And you will tell us a little bit about the framework and the results from the Shelndex.
I will. Yes, thank you, Heidi. When Heidi came visiting us a little more than a year ago, she wanted to introduce us to this idea she had, that maybe it would be a good idea to set up sort of an index that would give a company a status for where it stands and some measures around how to improve on the way to gender equality. I just want to give a short introduction to why we think this was a good idea and why we wanted to join her on this journey. We are a company with a fairly large company, 260,000 employees in 150 countries. And we work with numbers and facts and figures in all sectors. So we definitely think that that can be a driver for improvement. So the basic idea behind the Shelndex is to quantify and to put facts and figures and numbers to what is otherwise maybe a little untangible. We decided to look into this, and this is by far history now, and we have launched the index and we've done the second round. I would emphasize that it's still early days. It's still small-scale operation centered here in Norway, and as we have heard, thanks to Sanjam, also in the shipping sector, the maritime industry of India. But the ambitions are clear. Heidi wants to take this globally, and we have sort of gotten her enthusiasm to do this and help her along. And we have an organization to do that. Can I have next slide, please? What we found that we need to both look at the facts, straight facts for what does it look like actually in the management teams of the companies, but we also had to look at what measures are in place in a company to drive this development towards gender parity or gender equality. And we think that the hard facts need to weigh the heaviest, which is why we decided we'll go for 80% on that one. But we still want to emphasize that there are some other things that matter too when we want to sort of evaluate and give a fair picture of where does a company stand. And of course the underlying thing here is that we want to have the Shelndex as a tool, improvement tool, and we want I think if it's right used, then it can be a driving force for gender equality, because it will be very visible where a company stands. It will make it possible to compare yourself to other companies. You can compare yourself to last year. And we already see that some companies have started to put their rating in the Shelndex in their annual report. And to me, that's a clear signal that this can be an important thing. Now to look at those 20% that are not the composal of the management group, which is, by the way, the board of directors, the CEO, the top management group, and those reporting to the top management group. So we look at gender equality there. And I'll get back to some of the findings we have in the first or the last index a little later on. But first, what we look at here in the 20% sector, you remember, we look at action and measurement, we look at policies and targets in place, we look at what sort of a gender pay gap does a company have, and then we look at talent. So each of these, we have a set of questions looking into all of these aspects, and they are set up with 25% of those 20% score of the total index. What we found was maybe not so surprising. Norway is pretty well positioned when it comes to women in leadership in politics. Not so much in business, I'm afraid. And the board of directors, that's by law mandatory 40%, and it's almost there. There are some reasons why it's not exactly 40. And then you can see from right to left, top management 2 and top management 1 and CEO. The higher up you get, the less women you will have. We asked the companies, do they have a policy or that kind of measures in place? And 48%, less than half, say yes we have, and another 18% say they're working on it. So this is a simple question, but I think it's important to have it on the agenda, and it's a sort of an internal reminder that you should think about this in your operations. This is maybe the most important one. Says that 26% say that they make sure that they have a female candidate when a management position is to be set, and 35% say that they make sure they have a female candidate for when they recruit somebody from externally outside the company. These are important things, and you get a certain score in the index. I would encourage all of you to read the report if you want to look into the details. I've just scratched the surface here now, but I'm sure that this, as it spreads, then you can start comparing within certain sectors. The maritime sector could very well be the first sector that gets a broad enough representation to really be valid. So I would encourage you all to look into this, and in a week from now it will be possible to sign up for the next Shelndex. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And as we said, we are so lucky and having Norrköping, WISTA, and this is why I want to show you this video at the end of the speech, and I encourage you to be part and join the Shelndex and spread the word, because I believe that what gets measured gets done. Can you please?
Most companies need to speed up on the road to gender equality. In EY, we believe in transparency, and what gets measured gets done. That's why we need the SHE Index. The SHE Index puts numbers and facts to where a company stands on gender equality. We have substantial evidence that companies with fair gender balance is also having better financial results.
The maritime and ocean industries are facing huge opportunities, but also challenges when it comes to sustainability and shifts in technology. To ensure that we have the best and smartest minds available in this industry, we need to attract more female talents and more female top leaders.
Telenor is one of the big global telecom companies. Our business model is driven by customer understanding and competence. Diversity enables us to understand our customers and to drive our business model.
Vi ser at I de settinger hvor vi har både kvinner og menn med, så har vi bedre team, det tas bedre beslutninger, og derfor så ønsker vi at flere kvinner får en fremtid I denne næringen.
You need a systematic approach, you need training, but you also need measurement.
Norrköping has worked many years with gender equality, and we are a proud supporter of the SHE Index. What gets measured gets done.
I Rederiforbundet oppfordrer vi alle våre medlemmer til å delta I SHE-indeksen.
So join the SHE Index today and the growing number of companies that will not wait another 200 years to see gender equality happen.